Welcome to a new lesson of Microsoft PowerPoint. Well, this is a bit of advanced type of lesson where we are going to learn about Microsoft PowerPoint macro, or also known as Microsoft macro. Well, this macro is like a bit complex, but when you literally see the video fully, you will eventually know what macro does, and you know that macro is very important. Okay, you will also see this option of macro in different softwares like Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, and other softwares. But macro is like a specific type of tool which is most of the time seen or used in Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint, and also Microsoft Word. But before getting into the lesson, I'm going to give you a short brief of what macro is and why is it basically used. So a macro is a series of commands and instructions that you group together as a single command to accomplish a task automatically. So what are macros used for? Macros enable you to add functionality to forms, reports, and controls without writing code in a Visual Basic for application, which is also VBA. Well, if you've seen my Microsoft Excel videos, then you know what macro actually does. Okay, so what is an example with macro? Okay, I'm also going to give you practical examples too right now, but as I'm giving you a brief, well, you should learn about it too. So a macro is an automated input sequence that imitates keystrokes or mouse action. A macro is typically used to replace a repetitive series of keyboard and mouse action, and used often in spreadsheets and word processing applications like MS Excel, MS Word, MS PowerPoint. The file extension of macro is commonly known as VBA macro. Okay, so what is VBA and what is macro? Well, if you go to Microsoft Excel, then you will know what VBA is. So I'm keeping that topic out of this lesson but you have to know that VBA and macro, they both work together. Okay, so now you know a small brief of what macro is, why is it used, and what it actually does. Okay, so you can also use macros in Microsoft Excel and Word too. And you have to know that is macro in database. Well, macro is a tool that allows you to automate tasks and add functionality to your form, reports, and control. So if you add a command button to a form, you associate the button's on-click event to a macro, and the macro contains the command that you want the button to perform each time it is clicked, so that is known or that is termed to be in database. Okay, so let's just start off with the lesson without giving any more briefs. Okay, well, you will find macro in this view tab of Microsoft PowerPoint because I already opened it up. But if you want to use macro in Excel, well, that is a totally different thing. Okay, now let's start off by adding in our first slide. So as I've added in my first slide, you can see that I have my title tag and also my subtitle tag, or my text box. Okay, now let's say I'm going to type in some text. Let's say I'm going to type in banana is sweet. Okay, now what I'm going to do is after that, let's just click on over here, click on this macro, and I'm going to name the macro. So I'm going to add in, let's say for here, I'm going to do font. And another thing you have to keep in mind that you cannot add spaces when you are naming a macro or eventually other stuff. So what you have to do is using the this, let's say I'm going to add in underscore font color, then let's say size. Okay, I'm going to add in that. Now I'm going to do is going to be macro in PowerPoint presentation. I'm going to click on enter, and that will be create. Now what you can do is type in those type of content. Okay, you can also record a macro in Microsoft PowerPoint, or let's say Microsoft Excel, which mostly works. But if you are working on Microsoft PowerPoint, you can actually automate Microsoft PowerPoint through VBA or macro. Just as I told you that how VBA is connected to macro, as you can see when I clicked on macro, VBA or Visual Basic for application has opened up. Now I'm also going to give you a short brief of what VBA is. So just as you can see that when I opened up VBA, so I'm going to give you a short brief again. VBA stands for Visual Basic Analysis, or Visual Basic for Applications. Okay, so VBA is like a Microsoft's programming language for Office application such as MS Excel, MS Word, MS Access, and also MS PowerPoint. Macros are the most used, or most people like who use or who write VBA code. Okay, so what is Microsoft VBA used for? VBA is used to write programs for the Windows operating system and runs as an internal programming language in Microsoft Office, or MS Office, or also known as Office. Applications such as Excel, then Access, PowerPoint, Publisher, Word, and Visio. Okay, so what is the role of VBA in Excel, Microsoft Word, and all of those software such as PowerPoint? Well, it is used to automate tasks and perform several other functions beyond creating and organizing spreadsheet and eventually slides. For example, users need to automate some aspect of Excel or PowerPoint, such as repetitive tasks, frequent tasks, generating reports, and all of those. Okay, so obviously VBA or macro is going to help you through the process by making it a lot easier. But one thing you have to keep in mind that you cannot undo a macro which you already placed. Okay, so then you have to add in that content over again. So you have to be a bit cautious. So is VBA useful, or learning a VBA, is it useful? Obviously it is. As digital technology is an inseparable part of modern data collection and analysis process, Visual Basic for Application, or VBA skills, are important in most fields. Recruiters frequently look for key VBA development skills when reviewing resumes. So when you think about coding, or like you know that VBA is also in database, so it is a code, right? So you might compare it to Python, CSS, and all of those, right? C++. So you have to keep in mind that VBA is a bit complex because you have to type in all of the data all by yourself and do all of the tasks all by yourself. So we can say that some of the codes such as Python, CSS, all of those are a bit easier to learn and master, unlike Excel VBA or PowerPoint VBA, which includes personalized language known as VBA that is complex to master and execute. Transitioning from PowerPoint or Excel to Python or CSS like enables user to enjoy various benefits such as an open source coding platform, many volunteer contributions, and free libraries. Okay, so let's just start off with adding in some codes for PowerPoint. So what you can see is this text box. So first off, I'm gonna do is remove it. So I'm gonna do is remove it a bit. Okay, I'm gonna delete it. So first thing, I'm gonna go to developer tab. Okay, so you can get this developer tab turned on by going to file, go to option, and you will go to customize ribbon or quick access tool and click on developer from over here and press on OK, and you will have your developer tab. So first what I'm going to do is add in some text box. So let's say I'm going to add in text box 1, enable ActiveX, and I'm going to add in a couple more of these text boxes, 2, text box over here, and another text box over here. Okay, now I have 4 text boxes. Now what I'm going to do is use VBA to automate it. And obviously it is not very simple, but you just have to follow a couple of my steps. Okay, so let's say this is going to be a command button. So if I want to do that, I'm going to do is like remove it. I'm going to click on command button 1. Okay, so let's say this is command button 1. Now what I'm going to do is go to macro. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to do is see the property. So I'm going to click on over here, and what you're going to do is property sheet. So when you click on property sheet, this interface will open up. So from here, I'm going to see the name, which is going to be text box 1, which is like very simple, right? So, and the next one is going to be text box 2, and this is going to be text box a bit different, text box 4. So I'm going to go to VBA now. So I'm going to go to VB, which is also Visual Basics. So on my slide 1, I'm going to go to modules. On my modules, you will see that this interface will open up, okay? Which is also from slide 1. You can also do it from over here, but I'm going to start from this module, which I'm already activating it. So first off, what I'm going to do is type text box, okay? So let's say I'm going to type in text box. Let's type in text box. Then what I'm going to do is type in text box, whichever one I'm going to select. So let's say I'm going to select on this one if I want it to be this one, which is going to be command button. This is text box 1, text box 2, and text box 4. So let's say I'm going to type in to be text box a bit different. So, okay, I'm going to delete this. I'm going to click on text box again. I'm going to add in another one. And I can see that this is text box 3. Okay, so as I'm not gonna like leave any numbers behind, okay, so I can keep all of it arranged. So I'm gonna do is type in text box 3, then I'm gonna type in dot value. Okay, I'm gonna click on macro or VB, text box 3 dot, then I'm gonna type in value, VALUE. Okay, you can add that, but if you don't want to do that, just click on a bit of space, text box 3 value equal. Okay, I'm going to type in equal. Now I'm going to type in text box 1 value, text box 1 dot value. Okay, which is like very simple. Now what I'm going to do is press on enter, and now I'm going to type in, or maybe something else over here. Let's say and text box 2 value, 2 dot value. Okay, which is going to be equal. And I'm going to hit an enter, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to press on OK. I'm going to keep it to be over here. And now let's say I'm going to do a bit something else. Now when I save it, when I'm going to double tap on it, okay, double tap on the save, and you will say like this will appear up to be a bit different. Okay, sometimes you can save it to be PPTX and all of those, but it's already saved, so you don't have to worry about it. Now what I'm going to do is going to be going on presentation mode. Okay, I'm going to click on over here, go to presentation mode, and you will see that this you will be able to add in your data over here. So I'm going to do is type in 1 2 3 4. I'm going to do it over here too, 1 2 3. Let's say from here, let's say 5, say 8 5. Okay, I'm going to keep it to be something like this. Now what I'm going to do is make something else. I'm going to keep it over here. Let's say I'm going to keep it right over here and make another one. Let's say I'm going to make a scroll bar. So I'm going to keep the scroll bar to be over here. Okay, which is going to be a bit large, but you can also make it according to your desire. So I'm going to click on delete now. I'm going to make it again. Okay, so you don't have to worry that much because this is like very simple to do. Okay, you're going to find out this section. Let's say I'm going to make this one. Okay, so I'm going to create it by dragging it down. Now what I'm going to do is make another text box. So I'm going to add another text box over here. And now you can see that this is my text box. So what I'm going to do is see this over here. I'm going to go is click on property sheet, and you can see this is scroll bar 1. So I'm going to do is copy this. Okay, I'm going to copy, and then the value, you will see that there is different type of values. Okay, value 0 and all of those. So what I'm going to do is go to VB again. So I'm going to click on VB. You will see that this is the same thing. So I'm going to do a bit different. So I'm going to click on over here. Okay, I'm going to cut it for a while and click on view code. So as it is view code, so I'm going to do is text box. Okay, so I'm going to type in text box 4 dot value, okay, equal scroll bar value 1, scroll bar 1 dot value. Okay, hit on enter, scroll bar 1 dot value, and you will see that it will appear to be a bit different. Okay, now as we're done, what I'm going to do is save it. So if you want to save it, you can also do it. So I'm going to do is click on save. I'm going to press on yes, and you will see that it will appear up. I'm going to minimize it, and when you like drag it, I'm going to go to presentation mode, F5. You will see that I'm going to use my presentation key, F5, and then I'm going to do is drag it over here. I'm going to do is debug. If you see this option, you will see that there is some problem. Okay, but when you drag it, you will see different type of like data. But if you see that this option appears up, what you have to do is do the same thing over here, which I did right now. You have to open it up on private sub. So the private sub is going to be command button. So click on over here, view the code. Okay, then add the same thing over here, scroll bar 1. So what I'm going to do is add in text box 3 value and all of those back again. So I'm going to type in text box. I'm going to type in text box 3 dot value, hit on enter, or maybe go back, equal, type in equal, and then text box 1 value, text box 1 dot value, tab. You can use tab button to like adding it. I'm going to type in this and text box 2 dot value. Okay, now we're done. The text box 2 dot value. Now what you're gonna do is just save it. Click on save. I'm gonna press on OK or yes, and that will be basically it on how you'll be able to save your data. Okay, now what you can do is do a lot of stuff, but I'm gonna keep it to be something like this. I'm gonna go to presentation mode again, and I'm gonna keep it to be something like this. If you see debugs again, object is going to be required. So what you have to do is fix on the runtime. What you're gonna do is go over here and then select on text box 1 value. So what you're gonna do is just paste on it, which is going to be, you have to see some messages which are sometimes like which is making some problems. So I'm gonna do is text box 1 value, hit on enter, and that will be basically it. Just save it, or save that content, and that will be basically it. Okay, now as we're done, we're gonna do is going to be a bit different. So I'm gonna click on save and press on yes, and you will see that. Okay, I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna go to presentation. Okay, I'm gonna do is press on OK, then you can fix it. Okay, now when you scroll it, you will see different type of value will appear up. Now you will see that this is how you'll be able to use macro in Microsoft PowerPoint. Well, you might think that this is a bit complex, but what you have to do is just follow the same type of steps which I did, and you are good to go. And keep that in mind that what you're gonna do is click on command button 1, and whenever you're adding a content or fixing a content, click on them and then go to view code and then add in the content over here, but instead of opening VBA. Okay, so that is how it's going to work. So hope you guys understood everything in this lesson about macro, and obviously you know that this is a bit of advanced type of macro in PowerPoint, because obviously in Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Word you are able to record it, but in PowerPoint you are not able to record it. You have to paste in the data by yourself. So hope you guys understood everything and watching this video up till the end. Welcome to a new lesson of Microsoft PowerPoint. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how you'll be able to export your presentation as a video and exporting them as MP4 or let's say eventually MPK or M4K files too. Okay, so first off, as you can see that I have my presentation over here. Okay, well, it's not basically an presentation, but this is like a template or a theme which I'm using. But how will you be able to turn that into a video so that you can actually play it on your mobile PC and then your tablet, TV, and all of those as an MP4 file? Okay, so this is very simple. Just you have to follow a couple of the steps which I'm using, and there are a couple of methods how you can do that too. Okay, so without any further ado, let's just jump into the lesson where I'm going to show you all of those without facing any hassle. First off, what you're going to need is a presentation, or whichever presentation you downloaded, or maybe even if you worked on it. So first off, what I'm going to do is go to recording. Okay, you can see that there is this option called export to video or save as show. So these are the two methods. And there is another method of screen recording and also record slideshow. Okay, so let's start off with the first one, which is going to be record slideshow. So first off, what I'm going to do is click on this record slideshow. It will take me to this interface. Okay, so I'm going to do is remove the video, but if you want to add in your camera and your video so that you will be shown, then you can click on this camera and open up your camera where it is visible to see you. Okay, then what you're going to do is going to be click on record. It's going to start up the record. Then it will also add up your, the voice and all of those, your notation. You can also add, markups, all of those. Like say you want to add in something like this, it will be added. If you want to highlight it, you can also highlight the text or where you want to show it. You can also change the color by selecting on this color panel. Okay, after you're done, you can like select on those like this. After you're done, just click on stop and that will be saved. And you can eventually replay all of the thing which you also did. Okay, so this is like very simple. And eventually, if you want to like do the settings, you can also go to settings and select your mic, also your camera. That is also doable. Okay, after you're done, just press on this button and you will go back to over here. Okay, so this is like very simple for you, and that is how you will be able to record in such a way too. And eventually you will also be able to add in your, what you recorded over from here and play it like this. But if you don't want it, just click on over here. I'm going to do is click on this. You can see that whatever I recorded is being played over here. Okay, but I don't want it anymore, so I'm going to press on delete and that thing will be deleted. Now, I'm going to show you the next method. Go to recording again. Now is going to be screen recording. Click on screen recording. It's going to open up an interface like this. Let's say I'm going to go back over there. I'm going to go back. I'm going to cut it for a while. I'm going to go back. I'm going to cut the other section where I showed you the what like that. I'm going to do is screen recording, and it will open up this interface where you can record all of it and then paste it on your Microsoft PowerPoint. Well, that is a bit different of exporting it as a video, but it like most of the time allows you to actually, record the thing and paste it on your Microsoft PowerPoint. But you can also do that and go to PowerPoint and, go to presentation mode and then play it and then trim it later. Okay. But this takes, a bit of hassle and, like it is a bit of a problem when you do it. But what if you want to save it as a show? So if you do that, just click on save as show and then select the file where you want to keep it. Let's say I'm going to click on desktop, press on save, and it will be saved as a show. Okay, so I'm going to go to my desktop. Now you can see that it has been saved as the presentation title, and you can open it up. And after you open up, it will open directly on PowerPoint. So I'm going to go to PowerPoint now as we're done with saving it as a show. Now the last method is the most effective and most useful one, which is export to video. So if you want to directly take all of those slides as a video, what you have to do is click on export to video. When you do it, it will take you to the export section from file. So you can also go over to file and click on export. Okay, that is also doable. Click on export and you will see a couple of these, interfaces or these options will appear up. So first off, you can like export it as PDF or XPS, but eventually it is not a part of a topic, but I'm just giving you an idea of how you can do it. If you want to make like that, you can just click on this PDF or XPS, then it will be made as XPS or PDF. But even if you do that, I'm going to suggest you to do PDF because XPS only works on Microsoft, okay? And also the like older versions of it. Then we have is create a video, which is the main part, okay? Here you can select the resolution, let's say Ultra 4K HD. Then we have Full HD 1080p, 720p, and 480p. So select the resolution which you're going to need. I'm going to suggest you to do Full HD so that it doesn't, damage the resolution and you can play it everywhere. But if you want more high quality, just click on Ultra HD and it's going to take a bit of time to process that video and save it. So I'm going to suggest you to do 1080p. Then what you're going to do is select on this. And if you want to do recorded timings and narration, you can do that. But if you don't want any of those, just use recorded timing and narration, and that will be basically it. If you want to record the timing and narration, and you can also do it like, let's say for each slide, this specific time will be done, and then it will change on its own so that you have to record your speech and then do it. Then we have is preview timing and narration. You can see the narration and timing of each slide and be able to change it according to your desire. Okay, so that is how it basically works. Then after you're done, what you're going to do is just click on create video. It will take a while and then show you the file where you're going to save it. Click on save and it will start processing the video. Meanwhile, I'm going to show you the other one. So I'm going to go to file, go to export, I'm going to show you how you can make animated GIF. If you want to make animated GIF, you also have this section or this option, and Microsoft PowerPoint has that ability to do that. Then select the ratio and also the FPS, extra large, large, medium, and then small. You can see for each one, the FPS is decreasing and also the resolution. So I'm going to suggest you to do large or extra large. Then if you want to make your background transparent, you can also do that. Then you also have time or seconds spent on each slide. Then you can also select the slide where you want to like end or selected slides, okay? Then you have package presentation for CD. If you want to like, export it to a CD or make it into a CD, eventually most people do not make CDs anymore. But eventually, if you do want to do it, you have this option. Then we have is create handouts. If you want to make handouts and put slides, notes in Word document, you can also do that. And when you open up Microsoft Word, you will be able to apply or put that slide or put that show or eventually the whole presentation in Microsoft Word. So if you want to do that, you have to make handouts. Okay. Then we have is change file name. You also have a couple of these options over here. If you want to make it into a photo, then it also is available and doable through Microsoft PowerPoint. Let's say we have PNG, JPEG, then we have PowerPoint slideshow, presentation, template, open document presentation, and also older versions of presentation. Why does it have older version of presentation? Because sometimes the newer version of presentation file, PPTX, does not open up on the older version of Microsoft PowerPoint. So you have to use this when you are opening it up on the older version, okay? So as after you're done, it will be made. Now I'm gonna go to my file where I can open up that video. So as I'm on my folder where I saved it, so I'm going to click on over here and you will see that the MP4 file will be opened. Okay. Now you will see that this is the type of video you can actually get and the type of video you actually saved. Okay. Now you're going to get all of those all together. So I hope you guys understood everything about this lesson on how you can make your presentation into a video file and exporting it like a video. Okay. So thank you for watching this video again and staying with us, and hope you understood everything. If you didn't understand a part, please let us know and we will guide you through the process. Welcome to Microsoft PowerPoint. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how you can make an interactive and also advanced looking presentation and also presentation design. Okay. As this video is going to be a bit big and complex, so without any further ado, let's just jump into the lesson. And what you have to do is just follow my steps. And after following the steps, then you can use your own ideas, how you can make your presentation a lot better. So I'm going to cut it. Okay. So first thing what you're going to do is going to be going on design. After you go to design from here, or also from transition or insert, you can select whichever type of theme or design you want. Okay, so from here, you can select whichever type of design you want. Okay, so let's say from here, I'm going to use this design. So first off, as I've used that design, now what I'm going to do is make a couple of use of animations. So first off, I'm going to go to insert, go to shapes. I'm going to use circles. Okay, click on shift. I'm going to do is make those circles. So I'm going to do is copy all of those. Click on here, click on Alt, and you'll be able to copy all of those, or press on Control, and you're going to make a couple of these. So as I've given you all of these, I'm going to do is take a couple of those too. I'm going to do is select this one too. I'm going to paste it right over here. Press on Control and paste it over here. Now, as I have all of those, now I'm going to use all of them as triggers. So I'm going to click on them. First off, I'm going to do is remove the outline. So I'm going to press on no outline. So as there are no outlines now, I will, do all of the things. So first of all, what I'm going to do is go to insert, click on shapes, and I'm going to make an oval shaped one. Okay, so I'm going to click on over here or whichever one you prefer. So let's say I'm going to need something like this. Okay. Now I'm going to do another thing. Let's say I'm going to increase the size up till here so that it reaches my need. So I'm going to do is control all of them. I'm going to do is group them together. Let's say I'm going to group or keep it down. Okay, so I'm going to do is arrange, send it backward. Just click on over here. Or let's say I'm going to ungroup them first. click on over here, arrange, ungroup first, click on this. I'm gonna drop it back. Now as it is sent back, what I'm gonna do is remove the outline. Now as it has no outline, what I can do next is going to be a bit different. So let's say I'm going to add in my title or add in my content right over here. So first off, I'm going to increase the size. Let's say 1. Here, what I'm going to do is going to be a bit different. So I'm going to do is now group them together. Group. Now as they're grouped, what I'm going to do is going to be removing them, like these, all of them. Remove them. Now I'm going to do is control. I'm going to make copies of each and every one of those so that they are perfectly aligned. Let's say I'm going to select all of them by pressing on Shift, Control, and now I have them copied over here. Now what I'm going to do is going to be adding in my content over here. So let's say I'm going to type in something. Let's say this is first. I'm going to do it. This is second. This is third. Is third. This is fourth. I'm going to cut it. This is fifth. Let's say I'm going to type in. Okay, my bad. I'm going to do is click on over here. Click on fourth. This is the sixth. This is sixth. Okay, so as I've added in my my text, so I'm going to do is click on over here. Just keep them to be third. Now what I'm going to do is going to be a bit different. So first thing what I'm going to do is click on over here. And I'm going to click on animation. And after I add on animation, I'm going to click on add animation. Let's say I want it to fly in, not like this. So if I do that, it's going to make a bit of a problem. So I'm going to do is click on over here, go to insert or home. First off, let's say I'm going to ungroup them. So first off, I'm going to do is click on over here and I'm going to do is click on animation. Let's say I'm going to add animation. Let's say I'm going to fly in, but from the right. Okay. So I'm going to do is from the right. So I'm going to click in this, go to animation pane, animation painter or, animation pane. And I'm going to do is click on over here, start with a trigger. So if I want to add in a trigger, so I'm going to do is add trigger, click off. Let's say, what is this? I'm going to do is click on over here. Instead of this, I'm going to do is go to home. I'm going to click on insert. Let's say the first one is going to be this is, let's say I'm going to go to animation pane or selection pane, arrange, go to selection pane, and this is flowchart connector 3. Okay, so I'm going to do is click on over here, insert. I'm going to go to animation again. This is going to be it. So I'm going to do is cut it and go to animation pane. I'm going to click on over here, start with the trigger of, let's say, flowchart connector 3. So when I click on this, it will appear. Okay, so let's say I'm going to click on over here again and go to animation pane or effect option. I want it from the left. Okay, so what I'm going to do is going to be a bit different. So first off, let's start off with something else. Let's say I'm going to go to presentation mode, F5. When you click on it, you will see that this will appear up. But one thing you have to keep in mind that this is being shown, right? So I'm going to press on Control X. Now I'm going to add in a background first. So if you want to add in a background, what I'm going to do is click on shapes. I'm going to click on this triangle or rectangle. I'm going to make this shape. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is keep it over here. Paste it. Now I want to do is go to selection pane and I want all of them to be sent forward. Send for front. And I'm going to do is change their color. Now as they are different in color. So what I can do is going to be a bit different. So what I'm going to do next is going to be send this to be a bit back. So what I'm going to do is click this one to be a bit back. But when it comes up, it is going to be up on front. But another thing what I'm going to do is go to home. I'm going to add in another rectangle over here. Something like this. I'm going to select on it and like keep it a bit above, like below. Now as this is it, so I'm going to do is keep it like this. Now what I'm going to do is go to presentation mode by clicking on F5. And when I click on it, you will see that this is still like below. But what I'm going to do is going to be selecting on this one. Now I'm going to do is click on below this so that this appears up. Go to presentation mode, click on it. You will see that this is going to appear like this. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing on all of those. So I'm going to click on over here too. I'm going to ungroup them. First off, I'm going to ungroup them together. Click on this animation pane, or maybe on align or group, ungroup all of them. So I'm going to do is group them together or ungroup them. Then what I'm going to do is do the same thing over here. I'm going to like put it down. I'm going to do the same thing over here, ungroup them. I'm going to put it down too, as they are now different. Like keep them down. And another thing what you can do is make this shape to be like square, okay, so that you don't have to face any problems. So I can do the same thing. Let's say I'm going to go over here, go to shape format, click on, let's say, edit shape, change the shape to triangle or rectangle or square, okay, so it doesn't appear up. So what you can do is going to be a bit different. So I'm going to click on over here right now, go to animation. Now I'm going to do is fly in on each and every one of those. But what I'm going to do is going to be add trigger on click off. This is the second one. So I'm going to do is cut off it first. I'm going to do is select on this one and see rectangle 32. Okay. So I'm going to click on this one and go to animation pane. And as this is the one, okay, this is the one. So I'm going to do is, let's say, selecting on the one which I need. And I'm going to do click on trigger, which is going to be 31 or whichever one it is. I'm going to go to animation pane, select on this one, which is 32. So I'm going to go over there, select on this one or select on this one, 32, which is going to be it. Go to trigger, click off 32, select on 32, wherever it is. I'm going to go over the rectangle 32. This is 32. So I'm going to click on over here. I'm going to do the same thing on over here. Go to animation pane or add animation, fly in. Okay. So I'm going to do is effect option from left. Okay. And I'm going to also do the same thing by clicking on over here, go to animation pane 35. So I'm going to click on trigger now. I'm going to click on trigger. This is going to be 35 trigger on click off, rectangle 35. Now, as all of them are done, I'm going to do the same thing, effect option to be from left. Now I'm going to go to presentation mode, press F5. We'll take you over there. Click on this, and this. And now you can see that you have, like a better type of presentation. I'm going to do the same step on all of these. So I'm going to do is first off ungroup all of them. I'm going to go to home, click on insert. I'm going to do is select on it, go to shape format, ungroup them. Do the same thing on all of those, ungroup all of them, click on ungroup. Now as all of them are ungrouped, what I'm going to do is going to do the same thing by adding in our, let's say first off, I'm going to do is click on this shape, click on outline, no outline. Now you can see that there is literally no outline on them. But if you see that there is an outline, I'm going to do is click on outline again, no outline. I'm going to click on this shape, select on outline to be no outlines. Now you will see that there are no differences. Okay, but eventually that this is a bit above it, so you can see feel a bit of difference. I'm going to click on over here. I'm going to select it on over here, keep it right here. I'm going to do the same thing, control. I'm going to keep it to be over here. Okay, I'm going to keep it right here, but I'm going to copy it. I'm going to copy just a single one. I'm going to copy this one to be over here. Now you can see that this is a bit above. Okay, so I'm going to do first is remove the outline, no outline. Okay, then what I'm going to do is going to be select on this and add no outline too. Now you can see that there is no difference. So what I'm going to do is go to animation pane. I'm going to do is drop it above. Drop all of it above. I'm going to select on here, and I'm going to do is drop above or below. I'm going to do the same thing on all of those. Interactive. Now it is done. I'm going to select on these shapes, select on all of them. I'm going to do is turn them shape format, edit the shape, change shape into a rectangle. And as they are 44, like, okay, so this is 38, okay? So I'm going to add this. I'm going to add 38 right now. So I'm going to click on animation. I'm going to do the same thing on all of those. Click on fly in, effect option to be left. 38 will be it. So I'm going to click on over here and press it to be 38. Select on the trigger. I'm going to select on this trigger to be 38. I'm going to search for 38 and you have seen 38. And I think you have to keep in mind that when I'm going to do this, you will see that it will fly from over here. But what I'm going to do is going to be increasing the size, or maybe increasing this size. Okay, now what I'm going to do is going to be a bit different. So I'm going to do is drop it a bit more above or below. Now you can see all of those, right? Now what I'm going to do is going to be go into presentation mode again. I'm going to click on over here and you can see that this is still, above or below. So what I'm going to do is going to be keep it to be in such a way so that it is right over there, right? Very simple. So as you're done with it, you will see that it will give you a perfect type of, interface. And I'm going to do the same thing on all of those. I'm going to click on, let's say, I'm going to do more animation. I'm going to click on here, 41. I'm going to click on fly in, effect option from left, go to animation pane and do all of those one by one. I'm going to click on over here and I'm going to keep it to be this shaped. What I'm going to do is going to be, let's say I'm going to keep it to be over here till here, okay? I'm going to go to presentation mode and you will see when you click on them, they will appear up, right? So this is like very simple. So just you have to follow all of these steps and you will get a counteractive type of, animation and also a slide. If you want to make slide designs, you can also use these steps, which I'm going to show you in the next lesson. Yet you can follow all of these steps so that you can make your own type of ideas and your own type of counteractive type of slide designs and also animations. So hope you understood everything in this lesson and thank you for staying with us and watching this video up till the end.